Action.
Ready? Good? Okay. Welcome back to the Just Living podcast. I'm here with my grandpa Dave. Can you say your full name for the camera?
David Mark Rahn.
David Mark Rahn, otherwise known as Handyman Dave.
Sparky.
Sparky, good one. It's a good nickname. Actually, it's funny because I helped grandpa set up some Christmas lights on the roof.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah, we're getting close to Christmas. I'm down here for Thanksgiving break, and I want to get an interview in with my grandpa because I thought his life was interesting from what I know, and I don't know all of it, so I wanted to learn as much as I could.
Ooh, you're in for a surprise.
Okay. So we'll start off with the first basic questions. This is my script that I came up with. When were you born?
February 15, 1954.
And where were you born?
In Tuscola, Illinois, in German Hospital.
And then that's the old hospital.
It's a retirement home now.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where Jason has his barbershop.
Right. Yes, that place. Yeah. And you grew up in Tuscola for how long? And then
Up through fifth grade, and then my folks relocated to another location, and we ended up going to Villa Grove School. If we lived on the other side of the road, we could have went to Tuscola. We threatened to put up a tent, but that wasn't going to go through. So
it was like on the border of the two.
The other side of the road, out in the country, you went to Tuscola.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's still like that.
They still have those lines. Mm-hmm. So that's when we started our ventures in Villa Grove.
And can you describe kind of your childhood and you grew up on the farm? Well, in Tuscola.
We grew up out in the country, and it was like a farm setting,
Yeah.
We raised our own chickens and rabbits for food, eggs. Of course, my dad had a huge vegetable garden.
Wow, yeah.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah, I know.
He spent all his free time in the summer gardening, and I was there a lot myself. But,
yeah, the big old garden.
Yeah.
And how was your family life growing up?
My what?
Family life?
Oh, good. Didn't get to spend a lot of time with Dad like would have liked to, but he's
working.
He's the only one that ever worked.
Yeah.
Mom's raising 6 kids.
Right, 6 kids.
So, I didn't spend much time with Mom, really.
Yeah.
It's just us kids interacted with each other more than anything.
Wow, so you help each other grow up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. What were your parents like?
Oh, good people. Don't get me wrong.
Hardworking people.
Good, hardworking people.
If you're raising 6 kids.
Yes.
By yourself, and then other parents just working all day.
Yeah,
it takes a lot.
My mom did finally work once we were all grown up. Almost all moved away from home. They moved to Tuscola in town, and then she got a job at a laundromat, managing a laundromat. So she did that for probably 15 years.
Wow.
But other than that, she was a housewife. A busy one.
I'm busy. Yeah, 6 kids is a lot. And you had 6 siblings. How many brothers? How many sisters?
1 brother, Art, and then 4 sisters.
Wow.
Paula, Kathy, Carla, and Emma.
2 boys and 4 girls.
Yeah, in that order.
Wow.
The girls all came later. So.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a farmer.
Farmer, yeah. What did that spark from? Just
my grandpa, Ron, Dad's dad, was a farmer, and
you kind of just grew up around it.
Well, my dad farmed with his dad for, I don't know, I was probably 5 or 6 years old when he finally the money wasn't there for him and Grandpa both, so he got another job after that.
Where did he work?
He worked for a company called Illini IFS.
Which is a seed?
It's a fertilizer, petroleum based setup. He basically was a petroleum salesman. He drove a truck, delivered all the fuel to the farmers, oils, grease, and that kind of stuff.
Right.
He did that, gosh, 25, 30 years probably.
Wow.
And then when he got out of the truck, he went into the plant itself, and they sold a lot of paints and stuff, and in Christmas time he was noted for his display of Christmas trees because he didn't just lean them against a wall. Excuse me. He ran boards across, tied ropes to it, and
Oh, wow.
tied it to the top of the tree,
Yeah.
and literally had them hanging there for you to see.
So you could see him really well.
And he sold a lot of
A
them.
lot, yeah. It was a big business. Still, I mean, it's still a big
Yeah.
business. What hobbies did you have, or passions as a child when you're growing up?
Uh, always wanted to be a football star.
Yeah.
But that didn't pan out. I found out real quick, of course. But excuse me. And then I mean, I always enjoyed gardening with my dad. That was I like that. I can't really think of anything else as a kid.
And then you went to elementary in Tuscola and then went to high school in Phil Grove?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
What were your favorite subjects or activities in school?
PE.
Yeah, that's always a good one. You can't go wrong.
And I liked math. I really
Really?
did like math. And the science,
Science is cool.
not biology.
No.
But the science stuff, but
Did you have any influences or teachers or mentors when you were growing up?
oh, my dad was one. I mean,
Yeah.
even though we didn't spend a lot of time together,
Still, you looked
I
up to
learned a
him.
lot from him.
Right.
And mom too.
Yeah.
My folks.
You have any
We lived in the country,
Right.
and we didn't. After school, we rode a bus home. We didn't get to run
Yeah.
around town with friends and that
yeah,
kind
do
of stuff.
stuff.
And then my mom never had a driver's license,
Wow.
so it was totally relied on Dad to
Right.
take us here and there and everywhere. So,
So it was just, I mean, I guess it was lucky you had siblings,
mm-hmm.
had some company.
Yeah,
What were your plans coming out of high school?
I was gonna be a mechanic.
Mechanic.
I was gonna go to a tech school over in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a two-year program, like an associate's degree type
Right.
thing, but it was mechanics, back then. Didn't have all the computerized
Yeah.
stuff like you do today. And I probably would have went into diesel because back then that's where the money was.
Right. All the money, yeah.
Going into diesel.
Right.
And then that put me back out on the farm, working on farmers' equipment and stuff, but didn't happen.
Yeah. So you went straight into the workforce.
Yeah, yeah.
And where'd you go? Just straight on the farm?
I went into carpentry work
Carpentry,
with a friend of mine, Rick Kenny. His dad had a carpentry, built houses business, and I went to work for them, became a painter.
Wow. You are a good painter.
Yeah, well, that's where I learned it from.
Right.
I mean, I don't
How long did you work there?
know. About 4 years.
4 years. Wow. You got a lot of experience.
Right, but I had one child already and another one coming, and I needed more money.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to shopping around for jobs, and I got a job at Kraft Foods up in Champaign.
Okay, so
And worked there about 8 or 9 years.
what'd you do there? A little bit of everything.
We made Miracle Whip, all your salad dressings.
Yeah.
The department I worked in, mustards, 5-gallon containers of mayonnaise and Miracle Whip.
So were
all
you?
the way down to the little bitty pouch. And the
Yeah,
little
okay,
pouch
yeah.
things, we made them too.
So did you work factory? Like you'd run a machine, or did you
Oh, yeah.
maintenance?
No, I worked in there making, running equipment, on the production lines.
Yeah.
And then I got into assistant supervisor level
Oh, okay.
and did that for about 3 years, and then I left.
Did you like craft?
It wasn't bad. I just didn't like being inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't mind it. It's just
Gets
inside,
Yeah.
all day long, and
Gets to you.
Yeah, working on concrete.
And just
you
the
know.
same spot, same thing every day.
Well, you could up there. They had certain positions and jobs where you could, if somebody left that position or moved up to another one, they had levels of jobs. They classified them A, B, C, D, and E.
Mm,
Of course, the higher you went up, the more money you made.
right.
And I basically I never did get up to E. I went into assistant supervisor, so that's
What did that look like? What were you doing in that job?
well, in that job then I had I mean, of course, the supervisor was the main boss of the
Right.
department, but I was his sidekick, and so to speak, and made sure everything was running smoothly because he had meetings and all
Oh
that stuff he had to
yeah.
go through. And make up schedules. You'd have production lines that would have some of them would have 15, 20 people working on that production
Right.
line, either inside where the product was being packaged, and then outside where it's being stacked off and getting ready
Yeah.
for shipment. So made up a lot of schedules.
Right. Okay. So, how long were you out of high school to now? To where you're at right now? You're in Kraft.
Oh,
How many years was that?
from high school to craft,
Yeah.
probably 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Okay. So, what were your kind of the biggest challenges faced during those years?
Well, being a new dad,
Yeah.
for one,
Young,
and
young dad.
a young dad. I mean, that's why I didn't get off to college, because
Right.
we got pregnant, so we got married. Had to go to work,
Straight to work.
straight to work. So
You have how did you kind of like overcome those challenges or deal with it in the best way?
uh, I don't know. I just always kept looking for, at Kraft, you was able to, every time you moved up, of course, there was more money involved. Always trying to, make an advancement. I still wanted to work in agriculture.
Yeah.
Still wanted to farm. But I stayed with Kraft up until I got that opportunity, and then I quit
Right.
and went into farming with brother-in-law at that
Yeah.
time. So
So you went straight from work to work to work.
I've not had any breaks.
No, doesn't sound like it.
Only breaks I've had is surgeries.
Yeah.
Had to take time off, because of surgeries. But
When did you start getting surgeries?
well, I was 55 when I got my hip replaced.
Okay.
That was when it all started, and
$1 Million Man started.
yeah, and then it just went downhill from there. I had to have fusions in my neck
Yeah.
from a work time accident, and then I had both my knees replaced at the same time. And then I had to have my neck redone again about 12 years later after the first time, because more stuff went wrong.
Jeez.
And then I went to my hands.
Yeah. The wrist.
A wrist that's fused and one that's been replaced. And just, I mean, there's other little things too, but carpal tunnel twice. It's just,
Jeez. And was that
it sucks.
just working so hard? Your body just.
Well, that and arthritis, osteoarthritis. I mean, it's in our family, and
Yeah.
I got it pretty big time. So
How do you
my
deal?
dad had it, and
How do you deal with that?
get joints replaced.
It just. What is it like? Because I don't know what it's like to have arthritis.
Your joints just wear out. The cartilage and stuff
Just
that's
start
around the bone, like your knee or your hip. The arthritis takes over and it deteriorates it.
You start
So-
getting weak and hurt.
So I mean, it doesn't really cure the arthritis,
Just,
but it cures the joint.
Right.
And now it's a joint that it can't mess with.
Yeah.
You know, it cannot destroy it. You know, so
That's no fun.
no, it's not. But you feel a lot better.
Yeah,
after it's
right.
done.
Except for you can't really move your wrist now.
Not this one,
No,
but this one's still.
you got it. That was the one replaced.
This is the one I replaced. And the problem is now they told me when I had this done that, you know, be easy on it or you're going to wear it out. Well,
Wore it out.
I'm wearing it out.
Yeah.
I've been told, you know, you better just start taking it easy on it. Because when you wear that one out, then it's going to be like this
Both.
one. It'll be fused. You cannot put another one in.
Dang.
So that's where I'm at with that. So don't do a lot of lifting anymore.
No.
You know, nothing heavy.
Take it slow too.
Well, that too,
Yeah.
I'm getting older. I'm just slowing down anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see. A lot of these questions are just the same. I need to redo this. What lessons do you learn from all that?
What lessons have I learned?
If you look back on all that, you say, what could I have done better, or what could I have avoided, or, you know?
Oh man, I wish at some point in time there I'd have went back to school.
Yeah.
You know, but
You never stopped.
I just never stopped. I mean, my first wife was Terry. Was when we got pregnant, she was still in high school.
Right. Wow.
And then she had it set up to be an RN. She wanted to be a nurse, and so as soon as she got out of high school, then she started going. She had her first boy, Jason.
Yeah.
And she started going to school at Parkland. Her mom, she had money through her mom. It was all paid for, so she was able to go to school. You know, and then that helped big time. You know, financially, because then we had her income along with mine too.
Right.
And my parents that just did a wonderful job sitting with the boys. Saved us a ton
Yeah,
of money.
that's nice. I bet.
You know, a ton.
So you went. Okay, let's talk about the farm. You went to the farm. What was that like working there?
I loved it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it was
What type of things were you doing?
everything you do on a farm. I mean, I worked on equipment a lot. I did a lot of mechanic work out there. That's where I learned a lot of my
Right.
mechanics, was working on that farm and in Kraft Foods.
Oh yeah, I bet.
You know,
Having to service all the equipment and everything.
you know, that is a totally different picture.
Yeah,
you know,
for
but,
sure.
But I love the farm, the equipment, you know, and you know, tilling the ground.
Did that farm? Do they have animals?
No, they had no livestock.
Okay.
They were just dirt,
Just
what
dirt.
they call dirt farmers.
Yeah.
And had a semi truck. You know,
Running
when
grain.
we weren't busy with the farm, we ran grain. You know, here and there and everywhere. So.
I mean, you live in Illinois. What else you got? So that's all Illinois is, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of it. I mean, in our neck of the woods,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
you know, it's all farm grown.
Yeah. So you like that, and you did that for how long?
I did that for 8 years, I think it was.
And then what did you start doing after that?
That's when I had to leave. I got the epilepsy, like I was telling you,
Yeah.
and I couldn't drive for like 6 months. So it was an opportunity for me to get away from the farm because I was needing to do something, make more money,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, you know.
Not work as much because you were working.
And not work quite as intense. We just worked a lot.
Yeah. You were telling me you
out
worked
there. I mean, we worked
7 days a week for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, sometimes,
Yeah.
Or sometimes when you're in the field, it was longer than
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You know, it's
You guys
dusk
gotta
to
get
dawn, you know.
You got to get it done. Yeah.
Mhm.
So you need to get out of that.
But I really, man, that was the love of my life. That's what I always wanted to be and always do. This didn't work out, so I went into agriculture then after that, working for a company, the same company my dad worked for Line IFS, as a equipment operator. You know, I would run the equipment that would spread fertilizer,
So you still
spray
got
the crops.
to
you
be
know.
out there.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
Oh, that's nice.
But a little more, you know, I didn't put we didn't put the hours in quite like the farmer did.
Right.
You know, because some of our stuff you just couldn't do after dark.
Yeah.
You had to be able to see what you were doing.
Right.
So, but I really enjoyed that. You know, that's what I basically, when I retired from that, then I went into the handyman service. So,
Right. Handyman Dave.
yeah, become handyman Dave.
How long did you work at the seed place?
See, from '86 through about 2004, I was doing
Wow.
that for 3 different companies.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Turner Seed and Supply, and
Huh.
then Fish and Hudson, and then Alon IFS. You know.
Wow.
And then when I got out of that, then I went into my handyman service.
And you
I started that in about '04, I think it was,
wow.
and then
And I did
did
well.
that up until just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So building that business, because I'm very curious on building businesses.
Yeah.
So you started off just doing odd jobs with like family and friends.
I was between work.
Okay.
I mean, I got laid. What I was doing is I was working for when did I do that? I went to work for a heating and air conditioning company
HVAC.
for HVAC for about year and a half or so, 2 years, and then got laid off from that, and was having trouble, couldn't find anything. So I went into doing odd jobs for people.
Right.
Once somebody was needing their yard mowed all the time, and
So you just did whatever. It gave you money. Got you money.
but yeah, and I just kind of got started. I mean, I've been the type of person that, you know, if it's like this Grandpa's Fix It shop sign, you
Yeah.
know, if it ain't broke, I didn't mess with it, but it was broke, I usually could fix it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what I did, you know, as a handyman. That's a lot of things people that just wore out, needed replaced. And it was such a variety.
Mm-hmm.
You
A
know,
little bit of
that's
everything.
what I really liked about it, you know, and another learning experience,
Right.
you know. But it was, I really liked it. I wish I could have stayed with it longer than I
Yeah.
did, but it was time to give it up when we moved down here.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you getting. But you, I mean, you made. So how was that building it up? Was it just you started and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger?
Mm-hmm.
You got your name out there more.
Yeah, and I did do advertising
Mm-hmm.
in the local paper.
Right.
I was never on Facebook or
No.
anything like that. They might have, Lynn may have said something about me on Facebook to
Yeah.
somebody and they'd get a hold of me, but basically just advertised in the local newspaper and word of mouth, you know,
Yeah.
experience. People
Right. Yeah, doing a good job.
doing a good job. People spread the word.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, when I got into that business, Zach, I thought I'd be catering mainly to elderly.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't true. I mean, a lot of younger families that were working 2 jobs,
Didn't have time.
they didn't have time. You know, or they weren't, I mean, I knew one guy I did work for, he didn't know the difference between a Phillips and a straight screwdriver, and, you know, and he was basically my age. I'm going,
Wow.
Are you kidding? He goes, that's why you're here, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Yeah. So
So
I mean, there's a lot of people like
he
that.
was an attorney, you know.
Yeah.
so-
Right. So, I mean, that makes a little more sense.
Well, they're busy people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of people
I
are
mean,
like
a lot
that.
of people don't think so, that their evenings get preoccupied
Paperwork
and everything.
and-
But anyway, it was a nice experience. And then I probably had 6 customers that I was constantly doing something for them. You know, a month or 2 might go by. Dave, hey, I need you again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and go back, and you know, you get to know them.
Right. Yeah. That was part of the thing. I mean, building those relationships
Oh,
with
yeah.
people, and I mean,
It was cool.
yeah, getting teared up.
Oh yeah, I don't know why, but I do.
It's okay.
Yeah. You know, Bob, my friend Bob that you came out and helped
Yeah.
me do work with, you know, has become a good friend, you know,
And that started from working.
from working for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Building those relationships is something special too.
Yeah.
Did you have any bad customers?
I was basically turned down. I didn't get paid for one job.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
The lady had me come in and redo some flooring for her, and I didn't give her a quote. She said, "I just need this fixed." Mm-hmm. So I fixed it, and then when I turned in the bill, I mailed it to her, and when she sent it back, she paid half of it. She goes, "This is what I think this job was worth. I will not pay you the rest of it." And that's about the only one I really
Wow.
got burnt by, you know.
Lucky.
I don't think she ever gave me a bad name. I mean, my business kept going, but
Right. Was that early on?
no, it wasn't. It was I don't know, within the last 5 or 6 years
Wow.
there.
What did you learn most from, doing all that?
Oh, I learned more carpentry skills than what I had done in the past. Mainly because I had one gentleman working with me that was a carpenter, but he had trouble getting work. So I had him. I told him, "I'll take you on if you help me with this and this and this." Because
Right.
I had the work, he
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
So
So you did have.
so I learned a lot from that too. But it was just a great learning experience, for a lot of things. How to swap out a window, a door, just things like that. It was,
And you didn't
it
know.
wasn't as hard as I thought, man, I'll never be able to do that. And I'm going, well,
Right.
yeah, I can do that.
So you didn't know going into all the jobs what you were, how to do it.
I didn't put
You
no
learned as you went.
limitation. I went as, I just went along, and as I learned something, then I'd go ahead and do it. But a lot of things, if somebody wanted an addition built on their house, no. There I am, not a carpenter.
Right.
No.
Yeah. No.
And I worked, other than this one guy for a while, I mean, I've always worked by myself.
Yeah.
You
How long
know,
did you
and
work?
You can't, I mean, you just got to limit your stuff that you can do when
Yeah.
you're working for yourself.
Learn your abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How long did you have that guy working for you?
Jeff was probably 5 years.
Okay. Yeah. I
5
guess I
years
remember
or
that a
so.
little bit. Yeah. How do you, because this is a big thing for me is, when you get too wrapped up in your work, you kind of forget about personal life. How did you balance that?
Well, I basically worked till 4 or 5 o'clock for one and quit,
Yeah.
and then would come home. And our children were grown. I mean, when Lynn and I got together, I mean, the youngest two were 8 years old.
Yeah.
Your mom being one of them.
Yeah.
And Lynn was a nurse, So I mean, like I said, I didn't work till 8 or 9 o'clock.
Right.
I got burnt out on the farm and in
Yeah,
agriculture, working them long hours. And when you're working for yourself, you don't have to.
Right. Yeah. It's big.
But you got to train yourself to work too. Because I knew so many people that would go into working for themselves, and they wouldn't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I ain't going today. What the hell? Be there tomorrow.
I know.
Well, then
yeah.
you end up losing jobs and
Yeah.
getting a bad name.
Right. Yeah.
So I was quite capable of keeping myself disciplined on that. But I don't know. It's hard to keep a balance, I guess. But I was kind of like my dad. When I got done with work, I had a garden.
Yeah. You had something else.
I'd go play in the garden.
Yeah.
And then I had a hot rod.
Right.
I love playing with the car. So
Having a hobby.
having a hobby. I usually, I mean, I usually did that stuff by myself,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But still, I had hobbies,
Yeah.
you know, to keep me preoccupied.
Right. See, what are some of your proudest achievements?
Proudest achievements?
I know it's kind of a hard question.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I turned out to be an okay dad. You know, there was several years when I was on the farm, I didn't see much of my boys. And we kind of grew apart, and that, I mean, all my fault, you
Yeah.
know, but if I could go back and change that, I would. But,
Yeah.
but I think we did okay doing that. And then achievements was that my old car Clyde. That was,
Yeah.
that was. I
Clyde.
learned so much from that car.
Yeah.
That, you know, it was, and I really hated to let it go, but I had to.
Yeah. It's getting too much.
It was just too much, and there was way too much more to go with it, and unfortunately, I just, not that I got burnt out with it, I couldn't do it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so that's why Carlos Camaro sitting here.
Carlos Camaro. And now you got the Ranchero.
Yeah,
So,
Rory
Rory.
Ranchero. So
If you could give any advice to dads out there that are going through that same sort of thing where they work so much they can't, they lose that personal life. You know, because you went
Yeah.
through that.
I did, and you know, mine was through divorce situation too, and that's where when I was working on that farm, working all them hours, I just didn't, you know, and it's not that their mom didn't try. I mean,
Right.
you know, she says, "Hey, it's your weekend again. What are you doing?" I'm going, "No, I'm sorry, I just can't keep them." So, you know, spend time with your children. It's
Yeah.
very, very important.
You can't get that time back.
You cannot get it back.
No.
You know, I mean, I've gotten some of mine back, you know, as adults.
Yeah.
You know,
Rebuild that.
rebuilding it, and I've done that, I think. But I'd love to have some of them younger years back.
Yeah.
But, once it's gone, man.
Right,
So you
yeah.
know, take care of it then.
And enjoy what you have.
And, you know, enjoy them children.
How have your goals and ambitions evolved over time?
How did what?
Your goals and ambitions evolve over time.
My wife Lynn's a good. I mean, she's one that really helped with a lot of that. You
Yeah.
know, about setting some goals here and there, like especially with my boys,
Right.
spending the time there, and with ambition. I mean, she's good at building me up. You know, you get down every now and then. You know, she's good at building you up.
Getting
you
a
know,
rut.
Getting a rut. You know, but.
Because I feel like you kind of always need some sort of goal to have
Yeah,
to look at to keep you going in the right direction. You know.
You do.
So-
Even when you retire, you still
Right.
need.
You still need something.
You know, that's why I love that. You know, the car. I mean, that, you know, I can't do a lot of mechanically stuff with them anymore, but I still can do
Right.
some things. You know, and it's, you know, keeps my mind busy.
Yeah.
It's something I love to do.
Yeah. Same with the gardening.
yeah, gardening-
Landscaping. Right.
Gardening changed here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, vegetable gardens is way too much work
Yeah.
down here because you
No.
don't have the soil for one,
And it's so hot.
and you got to learn. I mean, this is the time of year to be raising
right.
a vegetable garden in Florida down
Yeah.
here. You know, or wait till, you know, after February or so
Spring.
and start some. But
Yeah.
it's just they got so many good fresh vegetables down here. I
Right.
don't need to.
Yeah, they do. It's
I
nice.
don't need to do that anymore.
Here's a big thing for me recently is philosophy, kind of like because you're a Christian and you've always been in the church and everything. Has that helped you guide your life and work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does help you to be an honest person, a caring person, loving person, and it's I don't know, just something my folks always went to church. We always went to church as kids.
Right.
I got away from it some as a young adult, but and especially when I was out on the farm.
Right.
But I got back to it, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really helps guide your life.
Right. You need
in my case.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, but I mean I feel like my youngest son, Pete, will tell you that he's an atheist, but I mean he's got all the beliefs and things like I do.
Yeah.
As for leading a good life.
Right. Yeah. You need something.
He might not classify himself as a Christian, but he lives a Christian life whether he likes it or not.
Right. Yeah. Because I think that's big. I mean, I'm not too huge into religion, but like you said, I grew up with those values and those beliefs, so I've got them. And but I feel like having a philosophy or some way that kind of guides you in your life, a way to live.
A way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and live within your means. I mean, it's always, you want this, but you got to live more with need.
Yeah, yeah, instead of want.
And then when there's leftover, then you can do some of your want, But living within your means, is a good philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, don't stress yourself, get yourself so far in debt that.
Right.
I mean, it drives some people insane.
It does, yeah. It is a slippery slope, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, what would be your advice to me, coming out of high school, starting life?
Well, I'd say just you're on the right track, going to school. You're going to get a degree.
Yeah.
In what you're pursuing. And just stay after it. And I mean, you're going to have to, especially the field you're going into, you're going to have to do some hands-on.
Oh yeah, some hard work.
And you're going to be punching the time clock a little bit and stuff. And I know that's not something you want to do, but it's life.
Yeah, no, it is.
I never wanted to do it either, you know, but I did.
Yeah.
You get used to it, you
Right.
know. And then, oh my God, I didn't realize you still here. It pops up. But yeah, just, keep pursuing your goals, but don't get too high of an expectation because you gotta go
Stay
through the
grounded.
basics too. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And what are some of the key lessons you have learned through life that you think others should know?
Key lessons? Always, take care of your responsibilities, especially, I say that to young couples, cases like me, we got married and my wife was still in high school, we didn't call it a mess up, we just called it a change of life, and you got to stay on top of that, if you do that, stay with it, keep it going, make it work.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're young, and I had some partying and stuff I never got done and this kind of stuff. Well, you got to give it up.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point.
You got responsibilities now. It's not that you have to totally give it up, but you got to
trade off.
Got to trade it off.
Yeah.
Live within your means, you know, and take care of your responsibilities.
Right.
Taking care of responsibilities is, you learn that as a young person, then it really helps you out in the future.
Yeah.
That it does.
Is there anything else you'd like to share to whoever's watching?
Well, just that right there. Basically just being, pursue your goals, whatever it may be, and then as you cross bridges along the way, accept, accept him, be responsible,
Mm-hmm.
And take care of business,
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm so excited. This
You're
was
welcome.
first serious interview for me, so I'm really excited about this. Thank you for.
Oh yeah,
giving
well
this
you're
to me.
welcome. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right, adios.